For the last several months, I've been building and refining the Simply Money DRIP score. It answers one very important question. Historically, was DRIP the best choice? But while testing the data, I realized something interesting. Some ETFs with poor DRIP scores still looked like attractive investments today. And some ETFs with massive yields looked terrible once you factored in what was happening to the NAV. So I built the second score. Today I'm revealing the Simply Money DRIP Opportunity Score, and the results were not what I expected. So stay tuned. Well, welcome back to Simply Money. Just a quick note before we get started. If you notice, the right side of my face looks a little different today. I'm currently dealing with Bell's palsy. Recovery takes a little time, but I'm doing well. I just wanted to mention it so nobody thinks their screen is broken. I'll also try not to smile or laugh too much during the video so I don't distract you or accidentally scare anyone. Now let's jump into the new DRIP Opportunity Score because the results were far more interesting than I expected. The DRIP score and the DRIP Opportunity Score are designed to answer two completely different questions. The DRIP score asks, historically, was reinvesting distributions the best choice? The Opportunity Score asks, if I received a distribution today, would I actually want to buy more shares? To answer that question, I ranked dozens of income ETFs using yield, NAV health, capital preservation, and the rankings revealed some very surprising results. Why the DRIP score wasn't enough is simple. Historical performance and future opportunity aren't always the same thing. We can look at something like CHPY, AMDW, and MSTY and see some very different results. And wait until you see what happened when I compare some of the highest yield ETFs against funds with much lower yields. This is how the scoring works on the Opportunity Score. NAV got a 60% weighting and yield 40% because we don't want just yield, we want the NAV to uphold. Yield matters, but NAV matters more. This one change immediately pushed some of the most popular income ETFs down the rankings. We're going to jump over now to the Simply Money DRIP score with income versus decay ratio spreadsheet. This is a great sheet for those who have not seen this before, or if you'd like a copy of it, you can get a copy down below at the Buy Me a Coffee link. All of our spreadsheets are available there. This one is great for seeing what I just talked about, looking at past performance. Has it been better to DRIP or to take the cash? And each one of these funds that is listed right here has an individual sheet that you can go in and you can change the date, and it'll show you what the share price was at the time. You can put the amount you wanted to invest and see what it would have done over the course of time, and it will automatically update the share price on each distribution date, and then it will show you the DRIP and non-DRIP performance and all these wonderful things that you can see, and then you can come down to the end and get your total returns for the different DRIPs. And what it does is it pulls all of these individual sheets. So this is AMDW, pulls it in right here, shows you what the fund name is. Based on the time frame that we have set on the individual sheet, it shows you what the price appreciation has been. So if you want to back test for 1 year, or if you want to back test for 5 years, you can do that, depending how long the fund's been around. And then this will update on this summary page, and you can compare different funds over the past year. How have they compared? Or maybe over the past 2 years. And it shows you what the total return was for full DRIP, what the total return was for partial DRIP, and then for no DRIP. Shows you your yield on cost and each of those categories, and then your average yield. And this is where the sheet really stands out, in my opinion. You have your DRIP score here. And what that is telling you, was it better to DRIP historically, or was it better to take the cash? If this column here, the DRIP score is green, it means that you did better DRIPing, and that you did 8.19% better with a full DRIP versus a no DRIP. Doesn't mean that you didn't do good with no DRIP, just means you did better with DRIP. And this can help back test and see how has this fund performed in different scenarios? And then I got thinking, this isn't enough, because a lot of people don't just care about what it has done. They want to know, what's it doing now, and what should I do with my distribution today? Should I drip it, or should I take the cash? So I created the DRIP opportunity score, which you'll see in column M and N, and we'll go over that here in a second. I'm going to show you a couple more for those who have not seen this before. You can see the DRIP score here for this BETH. It shows -12. That means that you did 12% better by taking cash than you did by dripping. Now, this is one of those I want to look at, because you can see it doesn't matter if you took the cash or dripped, you were still negative, but you did better by taking the cash. But I want to come down to this one to show you the difference, because a lot of people think that if it's red, it means it's bad. Well, what I want you to see here with GDXY, the price appreciation in the time frame that we have set has been -31. If you look at the full drip, 50% drip, and no drip, you can see that you did better, and it was positive. You made 23% if you dripped. You did very well. But if you took the cash, you actually did almost 26%. As you can see that this is red, meaning that not dripping did better, and it did better by almost 3%. But unlike BETH, your total return wasn't negative. Your total return was positive. So you can do better taking cash in a fund that is producing positive results. That's why each fund is very different. And the whole reason I came up with this worksheet in this drip score and income versus decay ratio is to help you see where you're investing your money. Is it better to take cash? Is it better to drip? Or is a fund deadly and I shouldn't even get into it because I'm losing value? And so there's a lot you can do with this. And again, you can change all the dates. You can go to every single sheet and change dates and timeframes to backtest. But that brings us to our new score. And I want to come over here. This is our DRIP opportunity score, and is looking at the NAV. How well has the NAV held up versus yield? And they both get scored 60% and 40%, and then it gets ranked. So the DRIP opportunity, we got 100% here with AMDW. So let's look at that. AMDW, you can see, has an 82, almost 83% price appreciation. Total return, whether you dripped, took 50% drip, or did not drip at all, was outstanding. Your yield is 67%. There you have your 60% weight is on this NAV, 40% is on this yield. Both are fantastic. That gets a score of 100, and it puts it in the elite opportunity. We can also look at CHPY, another one that has done fantastic. You can see the appreciation, 71%. So the NAV, 60% weighting, gets a high score, and a 40% yield gives it a high score. It too scores at a 96.1 and puts it in the elite status. Skip down here to GOOW, likewise 62% price appreciation, strong total returns no matter what you did with it, and a 48.79% yield. You see this here, you got a strong drip score, no NAV decay, and a 93.2 drip opportunity. If I own GOOW and I was to get a distribution today, I would look at that as a strong opportunity. Yes, I would want to buy more of that, so I will drip. Doesn't mean that's your best bet, because there may be something else you want to drip into, or you might want to take the cash, and you do well either way, but it's just showing you that this is a fund worth buying more of if you choose to do so. We can look at some others that are maybe not so good to be buying into. So those are some of our big winners. I want to look at another one, XQQI. Let's scroll down here to XQQI. Here we have XQQI. It only had just under 7% price appreciation, 20% yield. How did that do on the score? It gets an 87. It's a strong buy. It's a strong, I got a distribution. I think I'll buy some more. I like this fund. I'm going to keep buying into it. And that's a good thing to be able to see. And you can see you have some that are good, some are strong, some are weak, and some are caution. So we're going to look at a couple of these. Now I want to show you a couple of the big losers. We always like seeing the big winners, but we got to look at the big losers. People talk a lot about this one here, MSTY. Let's look at this. Negative 84% on the NAV. The NAV has killed people. Whether you dripped, 50% drip, or no drip, you are down. Look at that, 40%. If you took the cash, you're still down. So if I did own MSTY, it's telling me that taking cash, I do 20% better. So I'm taking the cash. The income versus decay ratio is in the red, meaning that it's decaying faster than it's paying out. So I don't like this. Look at all this red. Then we go over here. It's drip opportunity, only 44. That's a bad score. Weak. Meaning you're buying more, you're just depleting your money. So if I owned this, I would be taking the cash and I would be redirecting it. And that's something we have on the Simply Money Portfolio Planner worksheet now, where you can actually put in the funds that you want to look at. And say you own MSTY, you can have that set up to where it redirects your cash into something else and you can forecast what that would look like. I'm not going to show that right now. I have lots of videos showing the portfolio planner. That's another great tool. These two go together really, really well, along with the retirement stress test that we've come out with. Those three tools together are like an ultimate planning and investing and retirement bundle to help you really control your money and your investments and watch things and get tools to understand what you're looking for. But that's MSTY. Let's look at another one, CONY. Look at that, negative 73% price down, negative on all three of your drip scenarios. But people look at this. They get caught in that yield trap. Oh, 70% yield. I'm getting into that. Doesn't matter. Even if you took the cash, you're losing 18% over this time frame. Let's look at over here. Again, you're doing better by taking cash, 22% better, but you're still negative. Now remember, some of these can be red and you still made a positive total return. And that's what it's about. If you can get income and you're getting a total return that's positive, doesn't matter if this is red. This is just letting you know you can make a better total return by taking the cash. And we looked at that example a moment ago. But on this one, you're still doing better by taking cash, but you're losing money overall. And you can see your drip opportunity shows weak. And again, you could change this time frame to get a longer period, but this is watching the trends over the last 12 pay periods. So whether it's weekly or monthly or quarterly, it's looking at 12 different distributions. How is the NAV holding up and how is the yield holding up? And is this worth buying into based on the current trend? This makes it a very present score and opportunity to see. Last one I want to look at on the losers here is ULTY with an I. You can see ULTY with an I, negative 45 on the appreciation. All drip scenarios are negative. Here it shows that you do better by buying more. Dripping did better than taking cash, but you still lost money regardless. That's why your income versus decay ratio is negative. It's low here in the red, meaning the yield is not outpacing the decay. And then it shows that your drip opportunity is weak. I wouldn't want to buy more of that. I want to show you two really big surprises, so don't turn away quite yet. And I appreciate you bearing with me with this whole thing going on here. I just glanced up and saw myself on the camera and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe people are still watching. And when I laugh, it gets even worse. And I'll tell you a little funny story. I was at the airport on my way home when this actually happened. I was on a trip and I was at the airport. I had to wear a patch because my eye won't blink, so it gets really dry. And I was sitting at the airport. This little boy, probably 3 years old, he was a spitfire, man. He had energy everywhere. And he was sitting there. His parents were wore out. They were coming back from vacation. You could just tell they were whooped. And the grandparents were sitting across from me with this little boy, and he was looking at me. He saw the patch, and he goes, "Fire it!" And the grandparents were devastated. And I started laughing. And my wife said, "Don't laugh. You're going to scare them." And I couldn't help laughing. I was laughing so hard. And the harder I laugh, the worse it looks. So it was fun. If you don't know me, which most of you don't, you only know me from on here, Humor is good. I think humor is the best medicine. It doesn't bother me. So if you got some good jokes for me, please, you won't offend me. Throw them down. My friends are looking for some new stuff. My golf buddies were like, I need to come up with some new material. Your face is getting old. So I'll take all the jokes you have. Throw them in the comments. It'll make my day. You'll get me laughing. My wife will have a good laugh out of it too. So moving on, back to the real stuff here. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Maybe it's affecting my cognitive ability too. So here are a couple surprises. NUGY, let's look at that. NUGY right here, only a 2.45% price appreciation. But look at this total DRIP return, 76%. But look at this, if I took the cash, 81%. This is a cash machine. This is one, if I was to do it, I don't own NUGY, but for people looking for cash, this is one, has a little bit of NAV appreciation. And again, this is in the short period of time that we're looking at, but it's holding its NAV. You can see that by taking the cash, you do 5.5% better. Your total return by taking cash is better than by reinvesting. So it gets a strong drip because the dripping you still did good, but you want to compare these two scores. So again, it depends. Everybody's finances are different. Personal finances are personal. So if you're looking for just cash right now, this could be a good candidate because it's paying a better return by taking the cash. Or maybe you're saying, well, I want to build up some more shares. It's still a strong candidate for buying more shares. And you can see here, purple in the income versus decay ratio means it hasn't been any decay in the price, so it stays purple. If it's red, green, or yellow means there has been decay, whether it's good or bad, you have to look at the other scores. But purple means that the appreciation's going up too. So if you want to look for a good combination, you have those color codings. You can look real quick. I know there's a lot on here, but we've really made this dynamic for you. My goal was to make this a useful tool. I don't want just a spreadsheet. I wanted a true investment tool. And I believe we're building this and continue to add value as we come up with more metrics to look at to help you make decisions. The other one we want to look at, a favorite right now, very popular one, SLVO. S's are hard to say with this too, because this side, the tongue doesn't work. So I was down in Mississippi and I was trying to say Mississippi to the doctor. They got a kick out of that. Anyways, back to SLVO, 7.63% appreciation. And look at that, 63% if you drip, but total return 66% if you take the cash. So it comes over here. Again, it's in the red. Remember, red isn't bad on the drip score. It means that you do better by taking cash. In this one, you do 2.5% better by taking cash. You have a strong decay score, meaning that you're not losing value faster than it's paying out. And you have a strong drip opportunity, meaning I can take the cash. It does better if I take the cash, but it's still a strong opportunity if I want to buy some more. This is a drip score, tells you what happened, and the drip opportunity score tells you what might deserve your next distribution. If I get a distribution from CHPY this week, I'm going to look at this and say, well, I'm building up my shares right now. I'm good with buying more. But maybe I get a distribution from something like SLVO, and I'm like, I think I'll take the cash because I'm doing better, and maybe I'll redirect that somewhere else this week. So it gives you an opportunity to see week to week or month to month where you want to deploy your cash, whether back into the same fund or maybe into one of your other funds, or is there a new opportunity you want to look at? Neither score should be used in isolation, but together they provide a much more complete picture than yield alone. And so this is the new update that we've made. I hope you like it. Please leave your comments about these different funds. There's some funds you want added on here. I got a few more spaces. I can add a few more funds. I might get rid of a few that aren't really popular, but I do want to add a few more. So if you have some funds you want to see on there, I'll try to add those on. There's, as you can see, a lot of funds you can look at, and you can go in. Again, these are all set about 1 year old. If they're newer, then it doesn't have a year to go back on. But something like SCHD, I have it at 1 year. We're trying to do a comparison 1 year time frame to everything. And then obviously newer funds we do with what we have, but lots of funds you can look at, and you can look as far back as the fund goes. It has all the data for everything you need, and it updates. So when the new data comes out, the new distributions come out, those will be added in there. It automatically updates for you. That is our sheet. Give me your comments on this sheet, please, on these funds. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this new DRIP opportunity score is beneficial? I hope so. Leave your comments. Is there something you'd like to see tweaked, or how we rank it maybe differently? And again, I appreciate your patience with me with my medical condition. I am okay. For anybody wondering, I am not hurting. It's annoying. It's a little funny looking, but there's absolutely no pain and no complications that we have to worry about. So I do appreciate your support. I didn't want to take 4 or 5 weeks off and not continue to bring valuable information to you. So I appreciate you tolerating this. I hope it wasn't too difficult to listen to, and I hope I brought a little laugh to you today. That's it for today. We'll see you next time on Simply Money.